Good morning, everyone. It has been the Mondayest of Monday mornings around here. Everyone's kind of feeling the slow trudge of a Monday morning this morning. But we're up and going. Got a few things on the agenda today. The guys are going to be in the Quonset hut working on trim work indoors and planning out the pantry wall. I've got the bone broth to deal with. And getting the corn Haus and the head cheese out of the fridge and figuring out what we're going to do with it to store it. So I will check with you guys throughout the day, and I hope you have a good one.
Alright, well, I'm in here in the pantry this morning. I gotta get some measurements. Want to do that before I get too involved in a couple of other things that hopefully we're going to be doing today. But that's a rough on what we're looking at. I just gotta get on the back side of the plastic because I don't want to rip that down yet. Start getting some actual measurements so that I know where everything is going. I've got the door to actually measure out, which I want to say it's going to be a little bit smaller than what's here now, but we want to run a full support from the wall all the way across to here. And then we're going to have to put in nailers. So basically a full frame to put everything else in. Figure any measurements I can actually get now will only benefit us down the road. But that's what I'm starting with this morning.
Alright, so we've gotten our bone broth strained off. I am going to let it cool and let the fat gather at the top so I can skim it really good and get the bulk of the fat out of there before we try and can it. I will put it back in a pot and get it hot again before it goes in the jars for pressure canning. There's all the meat that came off of the bones. You're allowed to sneeze, it's okay.
I got ready for it and I didn't.
There are still little bits of bone in there. I just have to wait for this to cool off some more so I can really get my hands in there and get everything separated out. But that's a lot of meat. That's at least a meal of meat for us. Just from boiling the bones and getting all the meat off. So, next step will be, like I said, waiting for this to cool off and skimming the fat. And then we'll be getting it in the can, in jars, and in the canner this evening. Good morning, everyone. So Seth wants to make some banana bread this morning, so we got to get all of these things that we made with the head cheese out of the pans and into some kind of storage this morning. So we're going to flip these over and see how they do coming out. Hopefully they'll stay in their loaf shapes like they're supposed to, but I guess we will see. Alright, so here we have the bigger loaves of the head cheese and the corn Haus, I believe is what he calls it. It's the cornmeal mixed in with the head cheese to make it more of a scrapple type loaf. But they both kept their shape pretty well. Now I have to figure out how we're going to store this because it definitely needs to go in the freezer. It will only stay good in the fridge for a few days. The problem is they are soft because they're gelatin. So I think what I'm probably going to do is slice it into chunks, freeze it flat, and then freeze it. Once it's frozen in separate pieces, then I'll be able to put it into a vacuum seal bag and freeze and vacuum seal them so they'll keep longer in the freezer. So that is my plan for the immediate future. I'll check back in with you guys later. Alright, everybody, closing out the video for the night. I know it's a pretty short video. We got a lot done today, just didn't record a whole lot of it. This is Mr. Brown's corn Haus. We got it vacuum sealed in individual size pieces for him to be able to heat up and eat whenever he wants. And then that's the amount of meat that we got off of the bones from doing the bone broth. The bone broth I'm going to let sit in the fridge overnight, so hopefully I can get all the fat off the top of it. And then I'll restrain it and get it jarred up. I think we're only going to end up with about 2 full quarts. And I think we're going to use this for a soup tomorrow night. But that's where we're at for the day. Hope you all have had a good day. We'll catch you tomorrow.